Hmm. Hi. My apologies. My name's Matt. Thanks for coming in today. I appreciate it. It's not every day we have a consultation for sculpture. Now, I don't know if you've been with us before. I think I remember you from about a year ago. It's even less likely to have a sculpture done twice. Okay. Well, I can see you've had a little bit of a change. But how was the original sculpture? I'm very glad to hear it. We never get returns and we never get complaints, so I knew it was good news. Arrogance, honesty, sometimes the lines blur. Alright, now, the process might have altered a little bit since the last time you were here. What I'd like to do now is I'll actually be marking out what I call points of interest on the face. These are usually kind of high points of bone structure. And then, as before, or taking you through a series of complex measurements, predominantly from bone structures to bone structures, right down the jawline, understanding the curvature of the brow, and exactly. We won't keep you too long today, okay? After I've measured you up and kind of got a clear understanding of overall structure, symmetries, any changes, people break bones, the slightest. Absolutely. When I'm actually sculpting, any of these subtle nuances have to be captured. Okay? Now, once we have you measured up, I will sketch a quick diagram, and then we'll be good to go. Okay? Now, I'd just like to very quickly, if I may. Okay. Again, the camera will start off with the up close, and then we're widening out to the establishing shot. Okay. Sorry, what I was doing there was we'll actually have you back in once the sculpture is done, and we like to set up a little photo shoot with you side by side with the finished bust, and I like to understand exactly where you stood and what that fade out might look like. I appreciate you have almost no comprehension of what I just mentioned, but as you might have remembered, I provide a running commentary sometimes of exactly what it is I'm doing and the thought process. Okay, now this is a marker pen, nothing elaborate, and any marks we leave on the face will rub out with a very simple kind of alcoholic wipe, baby wipe, makeup remover, anything like that. And I can promise you I won't be drawing any unusual faces. Well, it wouldn't be for the first time. Absolutely. Okay. I'd just like you to relax, get comfortable, and I will ask you to keep movement to as little as possible. Okay, so very little movement. Relax. Chin up. Eyes straight forward. If you want to close your eyes, that's fine. If that's more comfortable for you. Now I'm just going to chart the center point of the nose. Good. The jawline. Jawline, point A. Jawline, point B. Now I just have to get a little bit closer here because this is the brow point 1 cheek. 2. Now I'm just going to run a very faint line along the jawline, bottom of the chin, and back up. And what this does is that when I take the pictures at the end, it will accentuate, almost in a very similar way, but we were doing it long before, to contouring. Usually you're contouring under the cheekbone, which is essentially giving the impression of a raised and exaggerated jawline or cheekbone line. Just along this jawline. Good. Good. And along jawline again. Alright. Good. Okay. Now, as I said, there are a series of measuring points that I will be proceeding through. After each measurement, I will write down the figure. Move on to the next measurement. Okay? Once everything is complete, once we have your face charted, the points of interest are noted, and we understand the overall symmetry of the face, and then a few snaps, and we're done. Right? Okay. Now, I am a little bit eccentric in the sense that I measure sometimes in inches and sometimes in centimeters. That's not for you to worry about. Okay? Now the first measurement will be from temple A to temple B. And what we're doing here is just understanding that distance and the arch, the natural arch of the brow. Good. Okay. Point 1, A to B. Good. Now, I will measure from the center point of the forehead down to nose point 1. Just bear with me here. And if you can smell my aftershave, it is Jean-Paul Gaultier's La Mail. My apologies if that's... well, everyone always likes it. Alright. Your nose just... good. Very, very good. Thank you. Center point to nose center 1. All right. Now, here we move from cheek A to cheek B. And again, what we're doing here is accentuating the high points of those cheekbones. And again, along through center point 1 of the nose. And you do have remarkably high cheekbones. Very, very fortunate. Okay. And I believe you've actually lost a little bit of weight since you were last here. Which is good news for you, makes my life a little trickier. Feel free to have a couple of takeaways next time you come in. I'm kidding. I encourage your healthy diet. Okay, high point, cheek 1. High point, cheek B. Alright. Next, I will be taking a measurement of the base of the earlobe running along that jawline to the uttermost point of the chin. Okay, so it's a little bit like that. I'll be stepping to your side a little bit here. Again, I'm just at your ear, and I'm just going to bring this tape measure down. There we go. Alright, very good. Lobe A to center point chin 2. And for the observant among you, center point 2 of the chin is at the base. Center point 1 is here. Now, to you that might be a couple of centimeters. To me, it's the distance between a good sculpture and an amazing sculpture. That's what that distance represents. Okay. Lobe B to center point 2. Excuse me, I had a small disagreement with my tape measure there. There we go. Just hold still, please. Good. You will be happy to know that the distance from lobe A to center 2 is the same as lobe B to center 2. You are perfectly symmetrical. Now that might sound straightforward and somewhat rudimentary, but you might be surprised to realize how many people have broken jaws at some point. I do a lot of sculptures for boxers and monuments, and a lot of them you'll find jaws on a specific side, usually their trailing hand. If it's been broken, it'll alter the dimensions very slightly and knock out that perfect symmetry that we're usually born with. Okie dokie. Now, the next measurement is 0.1 to 0.1 on the chin. Okay. And just look straight ahead, please. Again, closing your eyes is perfectly acceptable. Okay. Very good. Thank you. Center nose 1. Center point, chin 1. Again, thank you very much for your patience. It's thoroughly appreciated. Okay. Now I'll be taking from the top of the eyebrow, just above the eyelid, down in a perfect straight line. In line. Okay. This is a very simple eyebrow one. Good, thank you. Eyebrow, straight line. Alright. Okay, I'll be measuring the same again, but on the other side this time. Okay. Very good. Thank you. Eyebrow. Just as a side note and a slight observation, have you had any kind of cut at any point, or have you maybe your head collided with somebody else's at some point in your life? There's a slight indentation above the eyebrow. Okay. Then it comes to you whether you would like that portrayed in the sculpture. Sure. Not a problem. Again, it's a small addendum to my very comprehensive notes. I like to write in a very articulate fashion when I'm jotting down the measurements. I'll also scribble down in note form observations, things I might want to remember, bring to the forefront of my mind when sculpting. Again, nothing for you to worry about, it's just an artist's perspective. Alright. Now, I will measure the cornermost of the eye to the cornermost of the other eye. Okay. And just close your eyes for me, please. Thank you. Okay. Alright, very good. Thank you. I don't know if you've ever considered modeling for still life, but you're able to remain perfectly still. I almost thought you were asleep. You were so perfectly still. If you were, please don't worry about it. Okay, we're getting through them. We make for a great team. Now, again, I'm having a small disagreement with my tape measure. Okay. Now, next measurement is to understand the proportions of the mouth. So what I'd like you to do is two things. First thing is just relax the lips, as so. Just as if you were breathing through your nose. Let your face rest naturally. Alright. Thank you. Okay. Now, you'll remember I said there are two stages to this measurement. Second Now, I don't want you to smile. I'd like you to kind of pull the edges of your mouth to the side. That sounds very similar to a smile. I appreciate, but it's more just that tension. And the reason I'm doing this, that's perfect. Hold on. Good. The reason I ask us to do that is because when we speak, moving our mouths, it can leave a very slight impression that it can be very difficult to capture. And it's the difference between the resting mouth and that straight. That's almost like the maxed movement of your mouth to the corner. Okay? Thank you for bearing with me. Okay. Now the next measurement. Corner of the eye to earlobe. If you could just close your eyes from here, please. I won't actually touch the eye, don't worry. To the corner of the underlobe. Lobe A. Wonderful. Thank you. All right. In corner of the eye to lobe B. Very good. 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 Absolutely. All right. We don't have too many more to go. Again, all I'm really trying to do is charter and generate a series of almost coordinates that if you were to walk out this building today and I was suddenly to be struck down with amnesia, a very specific kind of amnesia, the kind that only allowed me to forget what you look like, but still remembered the fact I had an appointment to withhold or uphold. With my notes, the pictures, and the markings that I've taken, I should be able to recreate the face without having ever seen you, at least in my mind's eye. The information is that detailed, is that articulate. Okay? You're doing very well. Now, next measurement is from the very base of the chin down to just where your bust will end. So it's chin point 2, right down to the very base, right tip of the chest. Good. Very good. Thank you. Okay. Now, I'll be measuring from shoulder to shoulder. Now, this is actually comprised of 2 measurements. The front, shoulder to shoulder. And then I'll go around the back of you and take shoulder blade to shoulder blade. Your back tends to be larger. It's a larger surface area usually than just the chest. But we will do the chest first. Just continue to breathe normally, please. Good. Very good. Okay, I'm just going to step behind and get the reverse side of the shoulders. Just feel me threading the tape measure around back of your neck here. There we go. Okay. Again, just continue to breathe normally, please. Reverse shoulder 1 to reverse shoulder 2. Good. All right. Okay. How are we holding up? Glad to hear it. Okay. Now I'll take the under the armpit across to the second armpit. Like so. Okay. This is just giving me so we have shoulder to shoulder, which gives us this line. But we also want the chest. So it's a very similar measurement, but just a little bit lower this time. Including kind of the pictorial range. Good. Again, I'll ask you to hold your breath this time. Just and breathe. Thank you. Okay. Good. Okay. I'm not asking you to count my fingers, don't worry, I'm just understanding. All right. Perfect. Okay. Now the final measurement for today is ear. I'll be wrapping the tape measure all the way around the head in a full circle, basically taking the cranium, the largest points. Starting from the ear, taking all the way around the top of the ear. Good. Okay, we have perfect. Thank you. You will be relieved, or perhaps a little bit devastated, to understand that was our last measurement. Believe it or not, some people thoroughly enjoy this experience. Each of these steps. Now, so we have the dimensions, the mathematical dimensions of the face. Now I'd just like to take a quick sketch. And it's more really, again, drawing what I call points of interest, high points, parts I might want to accentuate or emphasize perhaps when I'm actually sculpting. And it's of course a marble sculpture. And it's a very simple drawing. Let's ask you to straight ahead. Just chin here. Good. Just understanding that. Those definition points. The little parts that unconsciously when we look at someone we're picking out these points. We recreate that image in our mind and we leave that person. And after many years I'm quite adept at recreating that image. And the curvature of the brow, the tension that we sometimes hold there, they're all, again, subtle nuances that go into recreating that person in a marble form. You'd be surprised that even missing frown lines, again, takes a really great sculpture into mesmerizing. And here at Articulate Design, we like to work exclusively in the realms of breathtaking. Okay. Here we just... Here, unfortunately, is one of the few things that a sculptor, we can capture a moment in time. And more than that, we can capture the essence of the person in the sculpture. But hair, for me, is one of the largest impacting or contributing factors into making us look how we look. If you want to change someone drastically, change the hair, or change the color of the eyes with contact lenses, something like that. But the hair, when we change our hair more often than you might realize, good. I just need to come so to really study this jawline and get the drawing is just a very basic recreation. But when I'm looking at the drawing against the math coordinate, that helps us recreate who you are. Okay. Happy with that side. Just working this side. Very good. Can I do? Thank you for your patience. I can assure you it will be worth the wait. All right. I just want to very quickly pencil in the shoulder line. obviously the first sculpture that we did for you. From what you said, that's now sitting pride in place. And this is a second sculpture. Clearly a very popular person, and people always want you in their presence, and if they can't have you, they'd rather have a mathematical or mathematically accurate recreation of you in marble form. Almost done. So we won't keep you for too much longer, don't worry. Very good. Good. All right. Thank you. All right. We are just about done. Okay. I'm happy. I'm happy with that. All right. So, from today, as of tomorrow, even as soon as tomorrow, because we are working exclusively for you at the moment. As soon as tomorrow, when we come in, we'll actually start creating the finished product. And after between 6 to 8 weeks, we will call you back in. I said we'll set up a little photo shoot, comparing and contrasting who you are and who I think you also happen to be. As I said, we've had 0 returns and 0 complaints in all our years of operating. Okay? I'd like to think that you can understand that you're in very safe hands at this stage. But if you do have any queries at any point during the 6 to 8 weeks, give us a call. If your circumstances change, maybe, again, you have an accident of some kind, maybe you're, heavens forbid, break your nose or something, anything that can change the aesthetics, I would like to know about, unless you're happy for us to recreate you as you were. Yeah, sure, again, you have our number, give us a call. If needs be, we can take you back in and rerun the consultation. That offer can stay open for about 2.5 weeks after the point of today. But I said, if it's something significant, give us a call, and we're very flexible. All right. Unlike your bones are not flexible. Do not test that theory. I need you as you are. I can't abide anything less than perfection for my clients. All right. I jest. All right. Thank you so much for coming in today. I appreciate you giving up your very valuable time to help me complete our little masterpiece. Okay? Absolutely. Yes. And as I said, any questions, any changes, don't hesitate to give us a call. All right? Thank you very much. You're welcome. See you soon.